8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We are live, sir. Oh, yes.
We're live now.
We are live.
What was that sound? What was that sound timer about?
It was a countdown. That's what all the fancy buggers do.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fair enough. Oh, I'm getting bigger.
You're getting bigger.
Thank you. Nice and blurry.
It's not that blurry. Is mine?
No,
quite...
yeah. I think it's probably my.
Is mine in focus?
It's my internet. It's my internet. I don't give a shit about it's in focus or not. Anyway, hello, people. Who's there? Who's there? There's 5 watching now. It says.
Hello, everybody.
As always, we can't guarantee, and well, we don't. Not even guarantee. We can't even. We're not even trying to do anything entertaining. We just fancied a chat, and so if you haven't broadcast it, it's not happening. That's the way of the world these days. Hello, there's Marcus Brisman. I know, hi Marcus.
Of course,
and Joshua Hatfield.
Hello, Marcus is there. Hello, everyone.
Of course, Marcus is there.
He's always.
He better be there. He's always there, always present. Mike Gray as well. Hello, Mike. How are you? Can you see it yet, Luke?
I'm not looking for it yet.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm painting some Mythic Battles crap. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if it's going to be focused for you.
Oh, Python.
There's a Python. So I'm finishing that one off. And I'm still not convinced about this. I don't know if you can see it. I've done a kind of pattern on it, and it looks half good and half rubbish.
See, you sent me a picture of this earlier and being very, as always, very derogatory to yourself and putting yourself down. But I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it's all right. I think the pattern's not correct. I think I could have spent more time looking at the pattern, but really, it doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter because it's going to sit in a box and no one's going to use it.
I just realised I made a terrible mistake. This colour on these, I'm using one of the contrasts on these boats because it's really nice and easy.
Yeah.
I can't for the bloody life of me remember what one that is.
Ah, that's interesting. It's a yellowy one.
I think it is a yellow. You're right, and I want to say I think it's Nasdrag yellow.
Hang on a second.
Or you think it's that bugger?
Well, not. I think it's a. Yeah, I'm saying it's that one because it's not this one. I've got this line I've been doing.
The Nemean lion.
Yeah,
is
and
that
that's brighter yellow than it looks like. Yeah, that's
Yandin.
Yandin yellow.
Yandin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I could dull it down.
I'm refusing to paint anything that doesn't have at least a hefty dose of contrast paints these days. Get it all done. Right now, he's sitting on a mound here. Now I've got two choices. Python? I can either try. Yeah, he's got stuff in the middle of his coils. So I could. What? Yeah, Evening Cthulhu and Evening Simon Brass. Yeah, there's about 7,000 YouTube streams going. Every content creator and his dog. It's incredibly hypocritical of me to complain about this, considering I'm sat here live streaming. But
on the basis, yeah, you didn't want to live stream anymore. Yeah, statement.
I don't particularly want to live stream anymore. I just fancy doing it tonight. I just fancy chatting to somebody while I painted because I was getting bored of my own company. But I've listened to 3 I'm sorry I haven't had clues in a row, and then thought, I'm bored of that now. So yeah. So how are you, Luke, anyway?
Very good, very good.
Have you played that what's that game you're painting? It's ship game, Black Sails or what?
Black Seas. No, I haven't played it yet. No, because I got it not long before the apocalypse began. So
yeah.
But my 2 old housemates, Kenny and Steve, they're well into it. They were the reason that pushed me over the edge to get it, because I'd had my eye on it for a while, but I thought, I'm never going to get to bloody play it, blah, 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 blah. And then I found out they'd both got a fleet, and I was like, right, that's it. That'll do.
Yeah. My friend Rob he keeps talking about Monster Apocalypse. Have you seen Monster Apocalypse?
Yeah, that's another one I've had my eye on for a long time.
Yeah,
especially the new edition.
It's expensive though.
It is, yeah, and that's probably the main reason I haven't gone for it, because it is bloody expensive.
I'm listening to You're Dead to Me from BBC Sounds now. Or at the moment, just generally. Because if you're doing it now, that's Cthulhu who's saying that. If you're doing it now, then that's pretty impressive going. Just can't be asked for that one. Right, let's do something easy. I'm doing some pillars, Luke.
Oh, that is nice and easy. Pleasantly easy, a bit of dry brushing. Gotta love it.
Well, I don't even bother with dry brushing.
Really?
No. Now, do I try doing this?
You're going to do a proper full-on marble effect, are you? You're going to go the whole way?
No, I'm going to paint it. Paint it vaguely cream and then dry brush it. You're right. Now I need a cream. What's cream? Yellow and...
Does that rash come back, has it?
You're Dead to Me. So what is You're Dead to Me? I've not heard of that one. Let's have a look.
No, I've not heard of that one either.
It won't be a podcast. It's on BBC Sounds. BBC Sounds are kind of... I'm quite impressed with them, actually. I didn't like...
What is BBC Sounds?
It's the BBC iPlayer, but for radio. But they also put out a load of podcasts. Now they forced me off the iPlayer radio, which was annoying.
What, like physically?
Well, they stopped supporting it, and then it just stopped working.
Oh, I see.
So I had to move to the Sounds app, and I wasn't that keen on it. But now I'm getting You're Dead to Me. Welcome to You're Dead to Me. Well, that's no use to me. I don't even know what it is. Oh, that looks like a history program.
Okay, right.
So
is it like about specific figures of history each time? That would make some sense for the title.
I've got no idea. History podcast for people who don't like history. Oh, the history of chocolate, the ancient Olympics, the Mayflower, Mary Shelley. I might have to listen to that. That sounds interesting.
There could be some good ones on there.
Yeah.
You're Dead to Me.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing welding. Fuck off, Mark Cook. It's a history show about one of the writers. Horrible history. Each one has a professional history. The comedian. We've done that. Some of the comedians aren't trying too hard. I started listening to a podcast. I can't remember what the title of it is. It's like Evil or Not, basically. Evil Genius, I think it's called. Where they have to decide whether somebody is evil or a genius.
Or a genius, yeah. Okay.
So, for example, Richard Pryor, who's a comic genius, but also was quite an unpleasant individual, and similar kind of people from history. And it really started pissing me off because they gave all the comedians such a big pass. You know, people have done horrendous things, and then other kind of historical figures, they were all kind of, oh no, he's a
dragged him over the coals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like just because a comedian and funny doesn't mean just the bias in it was just annoyed me. So yeah, so I stopped listening.
Richard Pryor was a funny one, and I mean that in
both
every
ways.
sense.
Yeah,
he was one of the first stand-up comedians I ever really kind of got hold of. Him and Billy Connolly. Yeah, I put completely my love of stand-up comedy down to those two people.
Yeah. Or possibly, arguably,
long time before I realised what the hell Richard Pryor had done in his time. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I used to like Richard Pryor. As a kid, I loved him because of his work with Gene Wilder and all the kind of that kind of very bizarre. When you stop and think of it, double act they had.
Yeah. What was the one where? He couldn't speak, or he couldn't
see no evil, hear no evil.
I love that movie.
Yeah, no, it was such a good movie. And then there was Silver Streak as well, which I really liked.
I remember the name, but I can't. I'm trying to picture like the front cover of the box.
I think it's about a bus or possibly a train. I can't remember, but it was good.
And he was in Superman 3, wasn't he, as well?
He was in Superman 3 as well, and he was in Brewster's Millions.
Brewster's Millions, because it had John Candy in it, was one of my absolute favourite movies. I love Brewster's Millions. I still do, to be fair. I still love Brewster's Millions.
No, it's a good film. Good film. So, yeah, he was a twat. You know, he was a wife beater. He tied his wife to the bonnet of a car and drove her around in one of his, real quite unpleasant individual.
Horrifically, I mean, his drug and alcohol abuse was, very much of its time.
Oh, it was. It was completely out of control. But you have to. Yeah. There's only so far that gives you an excuse.
Oh, I'm not excusing him for it. I'm just saying. I mean, it was certainly. He was a wild one, basically.
He was indeed
in every sense.
He was a son of a prostitute, I think.
He was. Yes.
So, I think when you said Billy Connolly and Richard Pryor, I mean, they're two arguably the finest stand-ups ever.
Yeah.
I was going to say of their generation, but I mean, stand-up really kind of started around there. Really, I don't know. It depends on how you define stand-up, but
yeah, I mean, if you want to, you could go down the whole vaudeville and variety acts and stuff like that. But yes, stand-up comedy as we know it today started with people like Pryor and the Big Ian and.
Some series of museum and curiosity you can't listen to. Yeah, that's hit and miss for me. I'll tell you what. No, one of the bus and train isn't Trains, Planes and Automobile, you idiot, Mark Cook.
Have you ever seen any of Richard Pryor's stuff before he really kind of found himself when he was going on the chat shows that were just kind of becoming big then as well? When he was straight, basically. When he was a straight comic. It's so weird. So weird to see him.
He was trying to replicate Bill Cosby, wasn't he?
Yeah.
When he was a straight, when he was first starting out in comedy, that was his that was his idol, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Who again would qualify for evil or genius and probably come down on the evil side.
Very much so. But I mean, if you listen, I listen to a lot of podcasts that involve stand-up comedians, and although none of them obviously remotely excuse anything Bill Cosby has done, they can't deny he's a genius. He was a genius at the time. I love the Eddie Murphy bit about Bill Cosby telling him, to clean up his act, and then Richard Pryor, and then Richard Pryor's response, to Eddie Murphy when he told him about that. Although I think it's on. I want to say it's on Delirious or Raw. I can't remember which one, but it's a great bit. Do you ever watch comedians in cars getting coffee?
Jerry Seinfeld? I don't really like Jerry Seinfeld. I find him a bit smug.
Oh, he is very smug. I really like that show though.
Yeah, it's probably good because it talks about comedy slightly clinically, does it?
Oh, very much so. They break it down. Certainly, some of them do with him.
Yeah. There's a podcast called Power of Three, which I highly recommend. Which is
I have listened to a few of those. A friend of mine before told me about that one.
Yeah, and that's two comedy writers. I can't remember what they've written now, but relatively mainstream comedy writers, as in TV comedy writers, talking to different comedians about their favourite bit of comedy. So not about their. So Ed Izzard, for example, is talking about John Lithgow in Third Rock from the Sun. In one of the
so not necessarily a stand-up bit. It might be a sketch. It might be a character in a whatever.
One of them was talking about a bit of Fry and Laurie. One of them was talking about smash hits, which I started listening to it, thinking, "What's this about?" And then finished by. That was the most kind of educational and it was really interesting about how smash hits and it was a comedy
smash hits
thing.
What, as in not like the music smash hits?
Yeah, the music magazine.
Oh wow!
Was it smash hits?
There was a music magazine, and I want to say that there was something that came along with it that was like a sort of Top of the Popsy kind of show, wasn't there?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a TV show. Smash.
No?
I'm telling you. No. You might. There was lots of TV programs about music, but no, that's not. Hang on, I'm going to look it up now. Oh, I can't be asked. Maybe it wasn't Smash Hits. It was some magazine. Neil Tennant used to be the editor of it. Let's have a look. Neil Tennant from Pet Shop Boys.
Not Enemy or.
No, it wasn't Enemy. No, it was aimed at teenage girls. Smash Hits, yeah. So it was aimed at teenage girls.
Neil Tennant was the editor of Smash Hits once.
Yeah, no, actually, he was a journalist for Smash Hits, and then he came back when he was famous and was a guest editor for it. You and I, Luke, would have dismissed it as being a
teenage girl mag, like Just 17 or whatever they were. I remember them.
Yeah. But apparently it was deeply, deeply funny and aimed at teenage girls too. But teenage girls have sense of humour. They're allowed to find things funny.
I suppose that's true.
It did things like it invited the Sugar Babes. It wasn't the Sugar Babes, but it was an equivalent at the time, thing at the time. People to switch on the Christmas lights, and then they brought them into the office and made them go down to the plug and just switch on their Christmas tree. Smash Hits. Yeah, Simon saying that. Simon Hits was brilliant, and I think it genuinely was. I think it was a bit like Viz and very subversive. I mean, obviously not the same type of thing as Viz. But again, Viz is an interesting thing, although it's lost its way as far as I'm aware. Smash Hits. Everyone's saying Smash Hits. Can you still not see the chat?
Yeah, no, I can't see it now. Yeah, I'll just
okay. Yeah, Lawrence.
My old housemate Niall, he used to regularly buy Viz, and I used to enjoy a peruse. It
is funny, and it's still funny. I follow their Twitter feed, and some of the letters are very funny. I can't think of one now, but I think generally it's a bit samey, which you could have expected, really. I kind of fell into following a load of people who write for the Beano as well.
Right, yeah.
On Twitter, because I've got I hesitate to call him a friend, not because I don't like him, but because I don't really know him well enough. I don't think he would call me a friend.
Right. Okay.
And the only reason I'm calling him a friend is because he's an artist and writer for the Beano, and it's cool. But
I was going to say you really would like to be considered friends with him. I would.
Yeah. I mean, I've known him for a long time. I've known him for 20 odd years, and he's always been, one of those people who you occasionally see at Christmases because he's coming out with some of your other friends. Kind of a periphery friend, really, an acquaintance, I suppose, is what you call him. But anyway, he writes and draws for the Beano. I asked last time I saw him, I asked him to do a picture for my son, which he did very kindly. I did offer to pay him, but as I hoped he would do, he said no, he'll do it for free. He does Betty and the Yeti on the Beano, but because I follow him, and then and I follow a lot of other people as well because he retweets something or whatever. He does it at night in bed. He writes, and during the day he works for a Hallmark as a illustrator. Yeah, for their greeting cards and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I used to think that a Beano artist was a full-time job, but in reality it's just
probably not.
It's just a gigging thing, isn't it? Really, but yeah, there'll be one. They'll have a full-time employees of like 2 people, I should think.
And not to like put down his work, but it probably, if he does only one strip for the Beano, that it probably doesn't actually take him on, because of the nature of that cartoony style. It probably doesn't take him very long to do it.
I presume not. I don't know.
He could probably knock it up pretty bloody quick. I would imagine.
He draws and writes one, and then writes another.
Right. Okay.
But and they're very small strips as well. There's sometimes even only 3 panels. So
there you go. Wow. Yeah. He really probably can throw that together in a.
I would have thought so. Oh, well, yeah. He does it in his spare time anyway. Let me put it that way. But yeah, it's cool though, and it's lovely as a Beano. Cora loves it. Absolutely loves it. There's another one. There's only one other comic in the UK, and that's the Phoenix. And that's mail order only. And
yes, I get adverts for that.
Max Davey loves it, but I think it's a bit middle class and pretentious. So there you go. Yeah, Betty and Eddie in the annual is only one page at a time. Yeah. Beanpole.
How are you going with your annual collection? You got all your Beanos, didn't you?
I've got all my Beanos. I've got most of the dandies now. I ended up going to. I ended up buying a job lot of like 40 annuals, some of which are dandies, some of which were Beanos I'd already got. But any swaps, because it's not very cost effective to. I don't know. Don't know if any Americans. Doesn't look like there's any Americans there. Maybe David L's American. Hiya. You okay? Yeah. Right. Come here. Just talking about Beano. You like the Beano, don't you?
Hello, Cora.
She can't hear.
I know she can't.
Yeah. Can you hear him now?
Hello, Cora. How you doing?
Good.
We've got loads of dandies, haven't we? And we've got all the Beanos from my life, but not all the dandies. But nearly.
All from
1976.
To 2020.
1976 to 2020, all the annuals. And I've read like 3 of them, so I really need to get on that, really.
I'm not sure which one I preferred.
It's 8:30.
Okay, night, sweetheart.
No,
you staying here? You can stay here if you want.
No.
You just can't hear what people are saying.
Nope.
David L's very British, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know, because
Max.
I can't remember specifically. I can't remember if I preferred Dando or Beanie. Dando or Beanie.
Hang on, sorry.
Go on.
I read it, last night for just to read it.
Oh, right, well done. Yeah. Sorry. You don't. No,
I can't remember if I was a Beano fan or a Dandy fan when I was a kid. I know Bash Street Kids was one of my favourites. Was that Beano?
That's Beano. It's got a really anarchic art style, which must have been established by a famous comic artist. I don't know who it was, but yeah, that Bash Street Kids. I
remember that being my absolute favourite.
Painting. Sorry. Right, you go to bed because you're interrupting my fame. Right. Bash Street Kids is the best, I think. But Dandy had some good stuff as well. I mean, you look at some of the old stuff. I mean, I'm looking, as I say, I'm collecting it now, and I've got from 1976 onwards for both of them, and a lot of the ones from the 70s and 80s. And there's some stuff in there that you couldn't get.
I'll bet
You quite rightly couldn't get away with now. I did think about going through it and trying to find the last time that people being slippered was mentioned to try and work out when that is, because that's a running theme, isn't it? Through Beano
completely,
and Dandy being beaten up by your parents. But I was watching something the other. Oh no, I was reading Twitter the other day, and they were the Beano had put something about the coronavirus or something like that. They'd said, kids going, yay for not having to go to school, and kind of outraged from Tunbridge Wells had written to them and said, is the Beano now promoting truanting from school? and the artist wrote back and just said, have you ever read the Beano? Yes, it is. Yes. That's their entire, that anarchic naughtiness is their entire USP, really.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good as the Beano, isn't it? It's good, wholesome fun, is that stuff.
It's as British gets, I think.
Yeah, and also it's what, it's really what turned Cora into wanting to read every night. And me, I remember me as a kid, I never really was interested in reading until I got a subscription to the Beano. It's just such a shame. I mean, I think it's still going strong as far as I'm aware. I mean, you can still find it in newsagents, but I think you're best off subscribing.
I think the fact that it is still going shows it's going all right. I mean, because I don't think anybody our age would have been too shocked if the Beano just went away.
No,
you just think, that's true. Dandy did go, didn't he? That's true.
So there's not. I mean, when we were kids, there was room in the market for. I mean, I used to get Whizzer and Chips. That was my one.
Oh yeah, it's like a Whizzer and Chips. Bloody hell, I've forgotten about
Whizzer
that.
and Chips and Buster and Beezer. and I can't remember any others. Yeah,
I probably got loads. I mean, I know I never really got one specific one. I'd just sort of pick up whatever jumped off the shelf at me, kind of thing.
Oh, that's what I'm doing, Daniel. You read a Beano a lot because the mate's grandma from the UK bought every animal since my best friend was born and sent them to him. That's what I've done. Yeah, Wizard Chips, yeah. Banana Man, Dando. Oh, Mark's being hilarious as usual. Topper, that's another one. Topper.
Again, I can picture that, but I can't.
There was Core. That was very short lived.
Core.
Yeah, and possibly a bit before your time. And then there was Oink. Yeah, I was going to say, Matt, Simon. There was Oink, which was
that doesn't ring a bell either.
Well, you missed out there. Oink was. I think we've discussed this on. I've definitely discussed it on a live stream before. Oink was very anarchic. It was the Viz for kids. Talked a lot about. I think Mary Whitehouse was anti it. Mark Riley, who there was a bassist for the Fall, but also was Lard out of Mark and Lard. He used to write for it.
I tell you something, I've just remembered that I used to love when I was a kid, and I'm assuming it must have been part of the Sunday Times, because it was the comic section called the Fun Day Times.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
Now the thing is, I know I loved that, and I know I used to have it all the time. So Mum and Dad must have, at some point, got the Times on every Sunday, but at some point they turned into Daily Mail readers. So,
I remember reading it. Maybe I remember reading it, and my parents were very much Guardian readers. So
maybe it was in a few.
Maybe it came in its own thing.
Yeah.
There used to be a newspaper for kids that I used to get. I can't remember what that was called, but there used to be.
I remember that existing. I don't know if I ever got
it. Fun Day Times. Yeah. No, yeah, Banana Man. Oh God, this chat's too interesting. Much more interesting than you. Banana Man TV show was ace.
Yeah, it was bloody brilliant.
Yeah, it wasn't just narrated by a goodie; it was narrated by the goodies. It was narrated by all of them. Tim Brooke Taylor, Graham Garden, and Bill Oddie. Yeah,
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, Bill Oddie was Eric. Graham Garden was Banana Man. Yeah.
I never liked the goodies.
Fuck off. The goodies are amazing.
It never did it for me.
Oh, I love the goodies. Zit. That's it. Zit. I remember Zit. Don't remember Poot.
Zit rings a bell as well, yeah.
Yeah, that was a Viz type one.
Smut. You're just making them up now, Simon.
No, I remember these. Again, I think you're slightly too young. These were when Viz became popular, and so people, because Viz was very much a two lads in their bedroom making it type fanzine that kind of exploded. And when it became popular, the kind of more the mainstream media they got on the bandwagon type thing. And there was a lot of these Viz type comics grew up and then lasted a year and then disappeared. The other thing I remember seeing on the comic shelves is Tank Girl, because Tank Girl was by
I remember Tank Girl.
James Hewitt, wasn't it? Was it James Hewitt? No, he was. Who did Tank Girl? Anyway, that was around for a while as well. A reasonable film, I would argue.
I don't think I've ever seen the film. I think I've just seen like little bits of it.
Yeah,
I got into Judge Dredd and that when I was younger. That was the only comic that I ever used to buy. It was either 2000 AD or Magazine. I could never remember which one. I think I used to just get whatever one was there. And it's the only comic I've ever bought with any sort of regularity, and that regularity was pretty loose at best anyway. But
it can't be too loose with 2000 AD because it had serials in, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
That's the problem. I always found it a little bit too confusing whenever I tried to dip into 2000 AD. I preferred the magazine because at least you got a full story.
Maybe that's probably the one I did tend to get then.
But I kind of switched to. They used to do this DC Comics reprint thing for the UK market, and I switched to that when I was about, I'm guessing 13, 14. And then I went heavy into superhero comics. So I left all those other comics behind. There's a charm to them. The Beanos and the Dandies and the Cores and
Bloody right there is.
Yeah. And as you say, uniquely British, I would say.
Oh, I think they're just so British. They're just the humour and the tongue in cheek, and just
Although it's I'm not clear. It might be Australian as well. You see, it's interesting. I know Australia doesn't have it to the same extent, but those kind of comics, Asterix.
Don't you dare!
You did it on bloody goodies, who were comic geniuses.
I'm not saying. I just said they didn't do it for me. I didn't say that they weren't geniuses.
I can't. I get Asterix bores me.
Does it really? Oh,
yeah.
I've always loved it. That is, I mean, it wasn't a comic for me as such because it was the French version of a trade. Yeah, the French version of trade paperbacks, basically.
I don't think they ever came out serialized. Did they? Were they serialized? The Asterix the Gold and that's.
No, not that I ever saw. Anyway, no, I've only ever seen them in the way that you get like the Tintin, Asterix, and all those sort of things. That I would argue that must be the only comic I really did read with any. Oh, actually, sorry, in Calvin and Hobbes, but that's a bit different.
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes is different. Although I still think I prefer the Far Side to Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, I loved Far Side as well. Yeah, I got into one when I was younger, and it was a family name that began with G, and I can't.
The Gambles?
That that sounds maybe right.
Garfield?
No. Yeah, Christ, I'd forgotten about Garfield as well. Actually, I probably like more comics than I really thought about.
That's more comic strips.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked more so, strips. Yeah.
No, I never really got Asterix. I read them, but I never found them massively entertaining. I know Flavian's a big fan.
Yeah. Tintin was the one that didn't do it for me.
Tintin's incredibly dull.
Yeah, it is. I completely agree. I never understood the enamel with Tintin. I really liked the film Spielberg did a little while ago with Jamie Bell as the sort of live action one.
It was very good. And do you know who wrote it?
You.
No.
No, go on then.
Joe Cornish. Do you know who Joe Cornish is?
He's a stand-up comedian, isn't he?
No, he's did you ever used to watch Adam and Joe?
Oh yeah.
He's the Joe from Adam and Joe.
So Adam wrote the Tintin movie. Wow.
And Ant-Man.
Huh. Bloody hell, I don't know that either.
He's a big the goodies did not write. Ken Reed Jonah, that's him. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm too interested in this chat, that's the problem. Asterix work of genius, it isn't really. And Tintin isn't a work of genius. That's anything but a work of genius. It's a work
I disagree with you on Asterix. So shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Idiot hole.
Contrast paints are great, Eric. Absolutely fantastic. I think you need to know how to paint before you can use them properly. That's the only downside. So,
yeah, you're right. You got a point there. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about
that. But other than that, they're fantastic. Ken Reed, I'm going to remember that. In fact, I'm going to write that down because I want to look up the life of Ken Reed because he's the one with the distinctive art style. He did Jonah, which is that's pure this art style. But I bet he did Backstreet Kids as well because it's the way he does. It's the way he does his noses.
Right. Yeah. Real distinctive.
Real distinctive noses. Have you seen Garfield without Garfield? I have seen Garfield without Garfield. It's funny.
I've never actually looked it up. I've always meant to. I've heard about it, and every now and then somebody mentions it, and I've never looked it up.
Yeah. Tintin's classic adventure. It's beautiful. It's boring, is what it is. Goodies wrote Tintin. They didn't. I like Tintin. It was always a fun mystery. Yawn. Sorry, I'm being vague.
I think the movie really was. The movie was everything I always wanted a Tintin thing to be. It was just, but the books just never translated that. It was like
David's telling you to go and listen to the Adam and Joe shows on YouTube, or they did. Adam and Joe did a radio show on XFM, but also on Six Music as well. And I never listened to the radio show live. Oh, here we go. Leo Baxter. I'm going to write these down. Leo, Bax, and Dale. They were the best radio presenters I think I've ever heard. They were absolutely amazing, and I'm guessing, much like Richard Herring is with Stuart Lee. Joe went on to become incredibly successful, and Adam has gone on to become moderately successful, and I think he's able to accept that. He's a lot more of a less bitter character than Richard Herring. But
I bet you're a big Stuart Lee fan, aren't you?
I like Stuart Lee. I think he's a bit pompous.
A bit. Jesus Christ. One of the most pretentious pompous stand-up comedians I've ever known.
I think that's a fair criticism. I think he has some right to it because he's very good, but he's also a bit of I wouldn't want to be his friend, let me put it that way. I think he's probably a bit of a dick.
Yeah. I won't begrudge him as a stand-up, but his style and delivery I find utterly deplorable.
Yeah, deplorable.
Deplorable. Thank you. Sorry.
I think he's got a certain taste. My favourite stand-up is, as we all currently, James Acaster. Although I've got a lot of room for Billy Connolly. Adam Buxton did a very, very good interview with Billy Connolly on his podcast. Recently. Billy Connolly's very good, and I also like Daniel Kitson, but I don't really. He's very hard to track down, but one of his stand-up routines brought me to tears once, and not tears of laughter, tears of emotion. He was amazing. I'll tell you what I watched a while ago that was absolutely incredible, but I never see really mentioned, is Ideal. Have you ever seen Ideal by Johnny Vegas?
No, never been a particularly Johnny Vegas fan, so I've never really gravitated towards his stuff.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's about a small-time cannabis dealer in Manchester, and it's really surreal and really just very innovative and very clever. It's really, really worth watching. Johnny Vegas is doing some marvellous job at the moment in St Helens. Have you seen his what he's doing?
No.
He's basically he's doing very much the same as you actually, but he's set up a food delivery and medication delivery system for people in his home area. Russell Crowe was retweeting about it, saying if anyone's in St Helens and needs anything, contact
Russell Crowe's in Maximus.
Yeah. That's it. And they're saying because it's Johnny Vegas delivering, you're only going to get every third biscuit, but never mind. Yeah, James Acaster is amazing, and he's somebody. So David L was saying, I went to see. Oh, this is too interesting. This chat's too interesting. I went to see James Acaster with my son a couple of months ago, and he was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I wasn't in a particularly wonderful place at the time either, and he really spoke to me. Josh Widdicombe, yeah, I think they're friends though. Met Stuart Lee, came into my pub. The I Am Stuart Nuttall's of UKIP's sketch is ace. Yeah, I think he's very clever. I think James Acaster's stand-up is close to art, and that's what I like about Daniel Kitson. Daniel Kitson's stuff is close to art. I told you about my claim to fame with Daniel Kitson. Do you know who Daniel Kitson is?
The name rings a bell, but I can't picture him. Let me Google him. Hang on.
He looks like a. Well, he'll say himself he looks like a paedophile. He's a guy who you remember Phoenix Nights?
I wasn't a fan of Phoenix Nights.
Oh, what? David saying his James Acaster's 4-part Netflix show is incredibly good.
Oh yeah, I have only ever seen little bits of his stand-up.
Yeah,
very little bits.
He does very little TV and very little recorded. I think he's a bit of an artist in that he doesn't really want to be on TV and stuff like that, and he does few gigs and things. He's got a stutter. But I went to A-level college with him. He was a year younger than me.
Right.
So I never actually knew him, but he's amazing. He's amazing.
Yes, Marcus. James Acaster was hilarious on Taskmaster.
I haven't seen that season yet.
It's so good. He does really good in it. Very funny.
He's got that weird persona, but he's also very good at weaving it into a narrative that's with the callbacks, and not funny callbacks but thematic callbacks and stuff like that. It's incredible. His new stuff is great. Food podcast is very good. Yeah, that's the other one I listen to. Off Menu, although I tend to only listen to it when I know who the guest is, which is wrong really, because often when you don't know who the guest is, it's even more interesting.
Yeah, but you get like that with sometimes, don't you? I mean, I sort of got like that with Joe Rogan for a while, and then had to kind of get myself back to like not skipping and just going like, oh yeah, I like it when he does that person and blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, Joe Rogan puts one out every day though. How can you possibly keep
with that? And that's the point. Yeah, but I make more of a point of having a quick look at the description and going, oh okay, yeah, they sound like they could be very interesting, rather than just looking at a name and going, oh that'll be funny.
I've only listened to one Joe Rogan podcast, and it was quite interesting. It was good, but I haven't got room in my life for somebody who puts a podcast out every day.
That's why I have to cherry pick them now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have really room for podcasts in my life anymore.
Well, no, a lot of people don't. That's why
certainly not right now. But I mean, even before the apocalypse, I didn't.
All the podcasts are down on numbers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My friend sent me an amazing video the other night. He's a blood biker. You know what I mean? Motorbike.
I don't know what a blood biker is.
I don't know what you call them. They run blood from one place to another on a motorbike.
Oh right, okay, like a courier type person, right?
Yeah. And he's doing that in London. Well, he does that in London when he's there. And he sent me his GoPro footage of, and it was I think he said it was about like 6:30, 7 or something like that. And there was just nobody there. It was just such weird footage to watch, It was going, down the... Like...
Thank you, Eric. That's very kind of you. Sorry, that's very kind of you. That's nice. What we're painting? I'm painting pillars from Mythic Battles, Pantheon, because I can't be asked painting anything else at the moment. I'm painting anything that's quick.
I'm painting things that will turn out like that.
Yes, Luke's painting boats for Blood Seas.
Black Seas.
Kind words. I was walking. I'm currently in self-isolation. Well, I'm out now. I'm out as of tomorrow, I suppose, of self-isolation. But I carefully checked the NHS website, and it says you can still go for walks if you're in self-isolation. Just keep away from everybody and stuff. So I've been going very early in the morning so I can get some good miles in without bumping into people. And I was trying to work out if I felt it was eerie, for 28 days later or whatever it is. And I don't think it is, because that behind every single curtain and every single window there's people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not finding it eerie on the streets. I'm finding, because there's people out there. But I'm glad they're in there, to be honest. So it's a strange
Unfortunately, today has not been a good day for that.
What people has it not? I haven't looked. I suspected it wouldn't be.
I'd seen a bunch of things like on the news about it, and then my cousin, who he went for he basically goes for a run in Battersea Park each day as his thing, and he said he had to turn around in the end because he couldn't avoid people. And Battersea Park, there was one police officer, a female police officer, trying to get people to bugger off and get out of Battersea Park, and there were just groups and hundreds of people who said,
that's very disappointing.
Just because the bloody sun came out a bit, it's like for the love of.
I know.
It's due to certainly the forecast for us later in the week is like 18, 19, 20 degrees. Today wasn't even close to that.
No. Well, it's a weekend as well, isn't it? That's
that's
the
true.
thing.
Of course it is. Yes, yeah.
So people who are working from people who are working from home, or even just working.
Who are still working, maybe.
Who are still working, going to work. But yeah. What pisses me off is people trying to find loopholes. You know what I mean? It's like, just go with just go with the spirit of it.
I can't remember what I was watching. And it was quite near the beginning of this all. And they would, again, it was that whole loophole thing. And they were like, can you go fishing? It's like, for fuck.
Yeah, that's
no,
it. Just,
no, you can't go fucking fishing.
Just stay
unless
inside.
That lake is in your blasted garden. No.
Yeah, because the longer that people piss around like that, the longer I have to stay indoors. Or, well, actually, I don't have to stay indoors. But I'm staying indoors for next week. Well, I'm on annual leave theoretically this week, so there's no need for me to go out, even though I am out quarantine. But if work get busy, I will go in.
Right.
But as it stands, they're not massively busy, and we've only got one person off sick with it. They had one person off sick and me self-quarantining, so we were well enough staffed to deal with it. Because most of the stuff we're doing now is on the phone, which isn't as good quality therapeutic work as you can do face-to-face, but it is what it is. And everyone I work with are over 65, so the majority of them are all in shielded groups as well. So we don't want to be going unless we really need to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we could potentially be spreading it from house to house. You know what I mean? We could be, as I keep saying to my manager, we could be the angels of death if we're not careful. We just need to be careful. I mean, all these people on, all these home care people. I mean, I'm not, massive props. I know it's been said a number of times, so I'm not saying anything original, but it's very ironic that all these people who we've suddenly realised are absolutely integral to the very existence of our society are all the people who get paid fucking minimum wage.
Yeah. So true.
I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, they're also relatively not low skilled. That's not right. But you know what I mean. They're also relatively jobs what most people could do. So it's difficult. So you can't go around paying people 50 grand because then everyone would want to stack shelves type thing.
I think the trouble is that term unskilled. It's not. It's not a term. It's not what the person who calls somebody an unskilled person is not. It's not the word they're really looking for.
No, they're looking for pleb.
But it's a job almost everybody can be trained for. That's that tends to be the case.
Yes, that's right.
That's the unfortunate thing is. But the thing is, you are still bloody trained. You are, and there are certain people who are certainly better at it and more equipped in whoever they in their being and who they are.
Yeah, and if there's anything, I as I say, bizarrely, I'm still feeling relatively positive about the outcome of this. I mean, other than all the massive loss of life and stuff that we're going to be facing, but when we came out of the World War II, we ended up getting the NHS and we ended up getting a welfare state, and the government realised that they couldn't ask the population to make these sacrifices for them without and then go back to normal. Yeah. After it all finished, they learned a lesson that there is such thing as a society, and in order to function, everyone has to pull together. and I'm hoping that this time round we'll have a similar thing. I'm hoping that the memory of this, which is, I mean, it's a massive inconvenience, a massive economically damaging thing, but ultimately, at the moment, it is an inconvenience rather than completely threatening to our way of life. I mean, if it goes on too long, then it might be, but at the moment, it's just it's annoyance as much as anything. But if you remember that, and you remember, well, what would happen if we had a fucking ice cap melting up our ass?
Yeah, it did occur to me the other day, and obviously I have no decent understanding of economics in any way or form. But it occurred to me that, like, I can understand it being obviously detrimental to the economy, but if everybody's getting the same effect, i.e. Italy, everybody this is global, so everybody's economy is getting fucked by it, does that kind of not sort of balance itself out a bit? Because obviously it's about, like, your currency drops in value and but everybody's currency drops in value. So do you see what I'm trying to get at? I mean, or am I just completely thinking arse about face in that sense? Or I mean, I have no idea, because economy to me is a baffling load of stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I think it's more than just a macro economy. I think it's the people not having jobs. I think this will be the death of the high street. I wouldn't be surprised if we never get these shops back again. If this goes on for more than another couple of months, then all the small shops will close, all the big shops will close, and it'll just be completely online shopping. Because COVID survival board game, what a bunch of dicks. But we could get the universal basic income out of this. We could get.
Is that true?
Well, I'm not. It's only me guessing. I'm not. It's not been.
No, sorry. The thing that Simon said. I was.
Right. Yeah.
Dickheads.
Apparently so. Yeah. Well, people trying to make people. It's the same people. I went off on one on the aircon pages, and I do apologise to Mark for doing it, but it just really pissed me off. Somebody making a pandemic joke, and it's like, let's all play pandemic. It's like, you're not fucking funny. Because that joke's been made 700 times before, and it wasn't funny. Wasn't funny when they made it in the first place.
Nope.
But you're just regurgitating something that you think is clever, and you're not being clever. Anyway, I called them out on it when they got a bit defensive. But it's like, well, did this whole my humour's always been a bit edgy and a bit dark. It's like, no,
fuck off.
Yes, it hasn't, has it?
No,
because you've never had a sense of humour, have you? You've just
been massively predictable, actually. If what we've seen is evidence, then yes, you're horrifically predictable in your humour.
Yeah,
not edgy.
I'm going to go back and put that. That was good. Yeah.
And also, chances are it wasn't your humour. You saw somebody else write it, and you just saw that nobody had written it here yet.
Exactly. This is what it is. It's people trying to score. Whatever. Fuck them. Did you see that the Harrogate Conference Centre is going to be a Nightingale hospital?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit odd, isn't it? How close we? My student nurse, Decency, his name was. I probably shouldn't say that.
His name was. Sorry, I mean, obviously not to repeat his name, but his name was Decency.
Yeah, he's African.
Oh wow! What a fabulous name, Decency.
I kept, yeah. And I probably definitely shouldn't say this, but I kept trying to get everyone in the office to forget, because we were saying, is it dignity? It's something positive with the beginning with a D. Is it dignity? No, decency. And I said, no, it's Dignitas. His name's Dignitas. He's a third year nursing student, and his placement with ourselves ended abruptly. He was meant to still be with us, and he's been told he's going to be redeployed to one of these Nightingale hospitals.
Oh wow!
So I mean, that's you're going through bloody uni doing that, and then suddenly you get told you're going to be on the.
It's like being drafted to the front line, sort of thing, isn't it?
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, and a risky front line as well. So I mean, he's up for it. Well played, well done, man.
Yeah.
I don't know about. Well, I would do if I got sent, and there's still a possibility of being sent. Depending on how things go. there's plenty of doctors who are suddenly finding themselves no longer. Well, I was talking to somebody who was saying that their friend who's a speech therapist has just been drafted into working on one of these wards.
Wow.
Not as a speech therapist, obviously, but they need to help wash people and turn people and feed people. You know, it's not all just the technical stuff. And you know, they've gone willingly, but it's just like it could happen to anybody. I don't think we're classed as an essential service, so I don't think. So other teams are being closed down and sent to us, right? So I don't think we would be closed down and sent elsewhere. But you know how it goes. It's all stuff. It's all stuff. Hopefully we can keep on top of it. If wankers don't go out and have a picnic and everyone go to the same fucking park because they don't want to have their walk on the street.
My friends and I did a Zoom last night. It was organised by one of my mates who lives in Germany. So there was someone from Australia on there, one from Germany, and then a bunch of us all dotted around here. And we all basically sat down, had a beer. We were talking for 5 hours in the end.
Wow.
Till I think one lad gave up just after 1, and then we all kind of called it a day at about 1:30, and we started just after 8. It was great. It was just so much fun, to be fair. And one of the things one of the lads said was like, who's going to throw the first barbecue then when all this is over? And we said, sod it, we're all going to have a barbecue tomorrow. We're going to have a Zoom-barbecue, and we'll just have streamed barbecues to each other.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, now
barbecue.
Now we've arranged we're doing it next week, and just, you know, it was brilliant. You know, it was really good. And like we all sort of said, I mean, we've all, you know, there's lots of us that have moved here and moved there, and you know, don't get to see each other like we used to, and we never ever think to do this. You know, we just occasionally call or message each other from time to time and stuff about this, that, or whatever. And the ones nearby each other see each other regularly, but obviously our friend that lives in Sydney, we don't see him too often, and certainly our friend in Germany the same.
We're very lucky that this happened. Well, we're not lucky, but it's for.
No, I know.
If this was going to happen, it's, you know, better than now than 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And also better now than a few months ago when there was all that flooding going on. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Just, God, I'm so lazy as a painter. I don't know if I can call myself a painter anymore. All I want to do is, all I'm interested in doing is I don't know if you see what I'm doing now. I'm basically just painting these spiders black, and I'll say that's done.
Have you done all your pillars?
Yeah, I've done all my pillars. I'm on the spiders now. I'm avoiding doing this one because it's, even though how simple that's going to be, it's still going to be more complicated than. I'm just too lazy.
What's going on in the chat?
People just clarifying what Nightingale and. Yeah, I've been ringing my mum, Mark, a lot more than I ever have done. It's been quite nice, really. Other than her telling me I'm too fat, a lot. Yeah. Sorry, I should be talking. Well, Luke's looking at the.
Yeah, sorry, I was just catching up on it. I'm very lucky in that Mum and Dad live in a part of my house, so. That's
cool. They're not living in France.
No, they wouldn't usually go until sort of early May. Like Dad's birthday is on the 5th of May, so usually they're still here for his birthday and then go pretty quickly afterwards. Certainly since they retired, anyway. But yeah, that's just certainly put paint to that now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, my mum's inside. She's not really an inside person. So my mum got sort of, not exactly, but sort of offered to be on the England over 70s tennis team.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know such a thing existed, but yeah.
No. Well, she basically says, if you live long enough, then you can get on any team.
Oh, I like the sound of your mum.
Well, yeah, she's a character.
Dad, she played for Yorkshire, and the only reason why she's not playing for Yorkshire this year is because she doesn't like the people on the team.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she played for Yorkshire, the Yorkshire tennis team.
What was that? But the only reason she didn't what?
The reason she's not playing for it anymore is because she didn't like anyone else who's on the team. That's
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, she got barred from a local pottery. You know those paint a pot type things.
Oh yeah. Oh, you did say this at one point, but I can't remember what she did.
Oh, she went and the pot cracked in the kiln, and she just went and said, "Well, it's your fault." And they went, "Well, we can't help it." I said, "I don't care. No, you can't help it, but it's your fault." And there was a massive argument. I mean, the woman in the paint pot place is a bit of a wanker as well. To be fair, but yeah, she's just a character, as I say. She's all right then.
To be fair, it hasn't really affected my mum and dad. They don't go out that much anyway.
No, well, I've been practicing social distancing for a long time. Let's see here. Yeah, I know. I think Mike was a bit pissed off with me that I pointed that out, but it's bloody true.
No, but it's not only is it obviously all of the people on the Dice Tower, it's another one of our people we like, Tabletop Minions, Uncle Atom. He does it. On the Sunday one, yeah, his Sunday live one. Let's see here, and there's somebody else. I forget who it was. I was listening to the other day. They were doing like a live Q&A or something like that, and they bloody did it. I think it's like hello. It's just the natural thing to say when you are letting see here. You can't help yourself. He did sound a little bit miffed when you said about it.
I think he felt I was labouring the joke too much.
You've never done that before, Dan?
No, exactly. Repeat until funny. People don't appreciate how much a valuable tenant that is for all comedy. Just keep it. It might not be funny the first time, but just keep repeating it until it is.
It's like the Family Guy when he bangs his knee thing.
Yeah, or like the entire of Little Britain.
That's very true.
Because none of that is funny until it's done for the 40th time, and suddenly it becomes funny to some people. Not to me, to be honest, but to some people. I've missed these. I was going to ask about it. Oh no, well, no, yeah. To be honest, if anyone asks me to do stuff, it makes me probably more inclinated not to do it because that's the kind of asshole I am. Mark's been doing Joe Wicks. I did Joe Wicks once. I did it on Tuesday. I've only just been able to get control of my legs again, to be honest.
Yeah, we did it. Sort of, we kind of do it like every other day.
Yeah, I think I should do it every other day. But honestly, it made me so stiff in my legs. He was concentrating completely on his legs because he's broken. He must have been so pissed off when he broke his wrist. You know, he's got all these millions of followers and stuff. I mean, fair play to him. He's doing it for, he's donating all his advertising money to the NHS, and he's doing a fantastic thing. But when he fell off his bike and broke his wrist, he must have thought, bollocks, just as it was getting started.
Yeah.
But yeah.
To be fair, he still does a bloody good job with a broken wrist.
Oh, he does. He does better than me without a broken wrist, to tell you that much. All that bloody squatting. I mean, I was doing it, but then, I tell you what, no amount of stretching is going to solve them DOMs.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
It's all very well people saying, "Oh, you just need to stretch." It's like,
yeah, I need to stretch back 20 years or so.
Exactly, 20 years and 10 stone. That's what I need to stretch back. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick to a 3 or 4 mile walk a day instead.
I need to stretch out my time between snacks.
Yeah, yeah. But no, he's doing a good thing. But gosh, it's hard work that, and he's doing it for kids as well who are naturally more. I mean, he needs to be more energetic, doesn't he? I think there's a few ones for old people. Maybe I should do one of those ones.
Well, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
My mum says she's every time she walks up the stairs, she's going up 4 times. That's what she's doing to try and keep herself. But I can't be asked with that.
So you said this game vaguely interests you, doesn't it? The Black Seas game you were.
Yeah, I don't think I'd
vaguely
ever want to play it with though. It'd be one of those ones I bought and then never did anything with. And I looked. I like the idea of naval combat, but I don't know if I'd actually like it in practice.
Oh, you never actually played one?
Not ship.
Or have you played?
One.
Have you played like Firestorm Armada or?
No, I played Talon.
Yeah, it's different because that's more chits, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still the same kind of.
No, right. You played X-Wing, yeah?
Yeah.
Imagine X-Wing, but you slow the pace of it down.
Yeah, well, that's Talon.
Oh, does Talon work like that? Does it?
Yeah, just because it's chits, and also once you start moving, it's hard to stop.
I thought, oh right, I didn't realise Talon was like. I thought Talon was more like fleet. Like a chit was a lot of ships, not a ship.
A chit is a ship. It's just it.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, that's cool.
It's supposed to be. I've never played Star Wars Armada, but it's supposed to be a better rule set than Star Wars Armada.
Okay, yeah, that's not too hard. I like Star Wars Armada, but I can see why a lot of people wouldn't like it. It's quite a slow-paced, very thinky kind of one.
Yeah, well, I think Talon is as well. But it was all right. It frustrated me after a while, and I'm shallow enough to get a bit fed up with having chits. Although it's very clever because
the dry wipe chits.
They're dry wipe chits, yeah. So you mark down your ammunition and your shields and all that kind of stuff on it. So look, I'm doing I've done one thing about contrast paints is I've not found the green I'm happy with yet.
No, I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. They're too emeraldy, vividy.
Yeah.
There is if you mix a little bit of which one is it? The Plague Bearer flesh.
Right.
What did I mix it with? I think it was just a little bit of a splash of one of the more vivid ones. It might have been orc flesh.
Yeah, that's what I'm using now, orc flesh, and I use it on my zombies. And I had to do a hell of a lot of work to rescue them after that because they were far too vivid. And as you say, emerald.
It is really emerald, isn't it?
I'm using on this snake woman, and that's appropriate because she's a snake woman, so I don't mind her being a bright, vivid emerald green. But even
then, I'd probably knock it back with a bit of a wash.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to wash it with a camo, whatever that camo green wash is.
Oh yeah.
Maybe mix a bit.
Corellia green shade, is it?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two green shades. One of them's
I've only got that one. I think I've only got that one.
There's this one. There's Bialtin green.
Oh, that would be quite a darker one, actually, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one. I think it's this Bialtin green I'm going to use rather than the other one that you mentioned.
The Corellia, yeah, Corellia's quite a vivid one. Oh no, it's quite dark actually. No, it's almost got like a black. Yeah, it's actually really dark. The Corellia one. It's probably too dark actually.
Athenian camo shade. That's the dark green one. That's the one.
Oh right, okay.
So there you go. David's going.
Bye,
David.
I had a very nice cathartic session sorting out all my paints the other day.
Me and Cora do that. I pass them down to her and she puts them in colour batches.
Yeah, I got people asked me what I wanted for my birthday a little while ago, and I was just like, and I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll send them the links for the TT Combat paint organisers stuff, because I'd always looked at it and thought, it looks quite nice, but I could never be bothered to buy it for myself. And
right, yeah. Oh, that's what birthdays are for, isn't it?
And it looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice where I've got it. I'm happy with it.
I'm trying to resist buying a new don't know whether to paint down there or not. I'm trying to resist buying a new Lego modular set.
What, as in to go with the ones you got, the street?
Yeah, like another, the latest house. As time goes on, I'm getting less and less happy with them, though. So
Really?
Yeah, they're not quite as intricate as my favourite ones are, but yeah, but they're expensive, and I don't really need it. And I can't work out if we're meant to be buying shit like that at the moment or not. Because on one hand, we need to, as you say, not as you say, but we need to keep the economy going. We need to keep us. If we can keep the economy going safely, then
I suppose it's where you buy it from is probably the more like.
Yeah, but it would be probably Lego, to be honest, directly. But
they don't need your money.
No, but they're doing some quite good stuff like Lego at the moment. I think they're quite an ethical company.
No, I'm just saying, but they're not shy of a bob or two.
No, it's true. I could, but
your local toy shop down the high street is fucking suffering.
Yeah, but they're not doing. I don't think we've got a local toy shop anymore. They're not doing. They're not. Well, I think all the local think all the local shops. As I say, I think retail's dead.
Yeah. I mean, it was dying anyway, and this
exactly.
This probably the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, exactly.
All high streets were struggling, and now this is just going to kill them off. I mean, half the shops in Huddersfield were either vape shops or charity shops.
Charity shops and estate agents. That's Ely for you. Vape charity shops, estate agents, and barbers.
Yeah, and that's that's probably the way it's going to have to go. Because that's just the way it's evolving. I think
dickheads like Amazon and Weatherspoons win.
Yeah, well, Weatherspoons can kiss my ass.
Amen.
That's it. That's the problem, isn't it? Though, and that's the other thing I hope will come out of this. And I've got no evidence to say it will. As I say, these are just hopes. Is that we start, because this is going to cost us absolutely tons of public money. I mean, we're leaking money through every orifice at the moment.
Yeah.
The government, and to be fair to the government, and I am slowly coming around to the fact that they could be doing a lot better. Not that I was ever a Tory anyway, but you know what I mean. Initially, I thought, they could be doing a lot better. Could be doing a lot worse.
Yeah.
I think that there's significant errors being made in how quickly they've acted on some things. But economically, I think they're talking about sticking by the workers rather than the companies, and I'm in favour of that. If all these airlines go bust, well, that's unfortunate. But other airlines will things will pop up to replace them, and it's about supporting the people in the jobs in the meantime, not bailing big businesses out again, in my view. But hopefully, the price we're going to have to pay for this, because there is going to be a price. The bill's going to come in. Will come from taxation of businesses rather than the workers. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but that's another one of my hopes, is that the world will take a look at Amazon and all these other things and go, actually, no, we are going to tax you now.
Enough's enough now.
Enough's enough.
You've had your day in the sun.
Exactly.
You've made your billions and squillions.
Exactly.
Now,
and
now it's time to, the bills come due.
And you can't hide from being a responsible member of the world by pretending you live in, you're in every single different country other than the one that is trying to tax you. So we'll see if that happens. So.
I'd like to think it would, but
no, I know, and it's the wrong government to bring that in as well. And we've also got the shitstorm that is Brexit to deal with, which hasn't gone away.
No, sadly not.
But I quite like the new Labour leader.
I must admit, I know literally nothing about him.
He is an intelligent man. He was the shadow Brexit person.
Right.
He seems to be somebody who's willing to work with all sides of the party, hopefully. Although the Momentum lot don't like him, which in itself is a reason to like him in my book, but still, that's just my my views. And he is a sir, but he's not a sir because of he's not a sir because of politics. He's a sir because he was the UK's leading human rights lawyer.
Huh. That's not a bad feather to have in your cap.
And, no, and he's incredibly. I don't know. It just seems like a top bloke to me, but I'm sure people will disagree. Certainly, I've seen people disagree on Twitter. But that's because Twitter is a shithole. Shithole of armchair experts.
The only thing I ever get out of Twitter is generally something from Death by Monsters, something from Paula Deming, or something from Lizzie McGreevy Shriver.
Yeah.
So my Twitter is actually quite pleasant because I don't do it for anything else, and just every now and then for some reason I get notifications off those.
During the Brexit stuff, I followed quite a lot of political people just so I knew what was, I could keep up with various different opinions, and I've had to and they've gone from preferring those to all the board game people. In fact, I've muted virtually everybody on Twitter now. There's very few people who haven't fucked me off in some way on Twitter.
There's almost no point in you having your Twitter account based on that, though.
No. I follow some comedians, and there's some celebrities I like on there. I like Richard Marx. Remember Richard Marx from the 90s?
Name doesn't particularly ring a bell.
Sure. What did Richard Marx sing? He sung Hazard. Mama went to Hazard when I was just 7.
Nope, it's not ringing a bell.
And he did. What was his famous one? Richard Marx. What was Richard Marx's famous song? Right here, waiting for you. Wherever you go, whatever you do.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I will be. Yeah.
I'd have said that whether I knew what you were singing or not, just to get you to stop.
Right here, waiting for you. Whatever it takes. That was good, that. I used to like Richard Marx. I
probably liked Richard Marx more than I realised, actually, yeah. That's...
Well, he just did the one hit song, really.
Oh, okay. There you go. I like that one.
Yeah.
90s and the 80s, there were so many great one-hit wonders, though.
They were. It was on all the soft rock albums.
Yeah.
That's what I call soft rock.
Driving Ballads in 5 compilation CD set.
That's exactly it. I imagine that's where most of his money comes from.
Yeah.
But anyway, I quite like him, although he's quite political.
Oh, cannons.
Right, I've had enough to paint you stupid woman. Let's go back to these pillars. I'm not getting anything done here. I'm just, mind you, it'll all come together in one big. That's why I like painting multiple things at the same time, because it feels like you're not getting anywhere, and then suddenly you've finished everything.
Yeah.
And you've got like 20 things you've finished.
I'm getting a bloody fleet done. I'm doing amazing.
I think Sir Keir is probably the best chance they've got of being elected as well.
Oh, really?
At any point. Yeah, definitely.
Seems pretty credible, yeah.
Very credible. He's not only he appears to be a safe pairs of hands. He's getting a lot of flack for being a middle class white guy, but he's not a middle class white guy. He's middle class now because he's a very high flying lawyer. But he came from his mother was a nurse. He came from a working class background. He came up due to being clever rather than rich. He's not a privileged. He's a good lad, as far as I can tell. Saying that, you say that about lots of people. What are you painting, Dan? I can see Luke's, but not yours. I'm painting some pillars currently for Mythic Battle Pantheon. No one's really interested in what. You really don't need to be interested in what I'm painting because it's not very interesting. I'm just going through my second box of Mythic Battle Pantheon models and generally finding the ones that are the most easy to paint and slapping paint on them. That's what I'm doing.
Right, I've just got to go sort something out for my wife.
Oh my goodness.
Back in 5 minutes.
Leaving 5 minutes.
Or not maybe 5 minutes, but you'll be fine.
Leaving me alone with these
entertaining
weirdos.
people. Entertaining.
Bloody hell. I haven't really had the energy or interest in painting anything for a long time. So I'm just kind of getting back into it by doing easy stuff. But really, I'd like to finish this Mythic Battles. I'm doing Mythic Battles because I think I might be able to persuade my son to play it with me. Because he's liked it before. So, there you go. 2 minutes, 3, you've helped. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. That is funny. So, what have I been watching? I've got Disney Plus, but I haven't watched The Mandalorian yet because it's got to that point where you think, no, I'm not going to watch it because everyone's on about it all the time. And plus, it's semi-being spoiled. Tell you what has been semi-spoiled for me is Tiger King. I'm in the 4th episode, but I keep seeing stuff that's kind of giving me hints of what else is to come. I was like, shut up. Stop spoiling shit. Just because it's a documentary, don't say you can spoil it. Heavy metal. I'm not a massive fan. I liked punk pop punk, whatever you come. You got painted the Kingdom Death, yeah. I just want to slap paint. As I say, I'm just currently, if you can't do it mainly in contrast paint, I'm not interested. I like getting quick results. I'm not really into painting one miniature to the point where it's looking really good. I'm more into just getting everything tabletop ready at the moment, which is fine until I look back on it later on. And the one thing I want to do, I've got Battle Law, which is a great game based on Memoir 44's that Command and Colours, is it that engine? And it's wonderful. I haven't played it for ages, and the main reason I haven't played it for ages is because I've got about a third of it painted, so I don't want to play it because I don't mind playing unpainted stuff, but I don't like playing half painted stuff, so I need to get that finished really. But I started painting it so long ago that the job I did on it is a bit shitty. So yeah, after I decided to make Nordic. Hang on. Oh really? Disney Plus until summer. Well, we had to wait longer than everyone else. To be honest, there's not a lot on it. There's the Disney films, and there's a few Marvel cartoons which are worth watching. Excuse me, that's another 2 weeks off work for me. So all the Marvel cartoons are worth watching. The Star Wars cartoons are worth watching. Rebels and Clone Wars. But if you've seen those already, you've probably seen the Disney films already. You've definitely seen all like Star Wars films and things like that already, and you'll have seen all the superhero films already. So it's good for a rewatch, but there's not. You look at it and there's nothing much to get very excited about. No, that's not true. No, because Yanni, I can cuff on my hand in my own house. It makes no difference. Anyway, it wasn't a COVID cough. I haven't got COVID, and I can tell you that much because I haven't been out in 2 weeks. Star Wars cartoons are really good. Really good. Better than the films, I'd argue. In fact, it's the Star Wars cartoons are better than the films.
Oh, I'm just going through Rebels again now.
Yeah, Rebels is great. I'm saying that I only watched it to the first season.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, and that's what I'm just getting towards the end of the first season.
Yeah, I'm probably going to start again from there and go on. But I was just saying, there's not a great deal on Disney I mean, there's a lot on. There's quite a bit on it, but there's not that much on it. You can
for my kids, there's a lot on it. But yes, for us having obviously been around a lot of years, it's all stuff we've all seen for the most part.
Yeah. What is good for is all the stuff from the Disney Channel. So it's kind of the really crap sitcoms like Wizards of Waverly Place. You won't know all these, Luke, probably because you haven't got a 16-year-old child. But all the all the stuff that my eldest daughter used to watch when she was 8 or 9 is on there. And that's good because Cora is now that age. So Cora's now making her way through Boy Meets World.
Oh, I used to love Boy Meets World when I was a kid.
Yeah, which is vaguely inappropriate actually for her age because it gets quite not mature, but you know it's age appropriate when they start getting to the age of 15 and 16.
Right.
But it's fine. You know, I don't care. And then there's Girl Meets World as well on there, so that's good. Me and my wife were saying it. We're very impressed that they managed to get so many of the cast of Boy Meets World back for Girl Meets World.
Oh, did they? I didn't think I ever realised there was a Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World is about what was his main character's name? Is it Corey?
Yeah, and Topanga.
Corey and Topanga.
Yeah,
about their daughter going to school, and there's a lot of the original cast in it, either in it all the way through or in it making guest appearances and stuff like that. So it's just
a lot of them didn't go on to do much else.
No, exactly, yeah, but at least they didn't go on to die of drugs overdoses either. So that's the upside of it. It's a bit like Family Ties, is it? Family Ties? Ant Farm, Good Luck Charlie, Lab Rats. Yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you one thing I love on there is the Pixar shorts. Some of them are lovely. Yeah.
I haven't watched many of those, but they will be. I probably actually see most of them because I've seen them before.
Yeah.
Pixar films. Community, to try and help you not burn through Brooklyn Nine-Nine too quickly. Those two comedies are the best comedies made in the last 10 years, I'd argue. Community.
I haven't seen Community.
Community is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It gets tired as it goes on, but then again, you can't really blame. Yeah, but
Brooklyn Nine-Nine's great.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine's amazing. Sorry, I'm about to disagree with Cthulhu, who he disliked Wizards of Waverly Place because Selena Gomez was unlikable, rude, selfish, lazy. Yes, she was. I agree, but I quite liked it.
She didn't have to act too much then.
But
to be fair, I know bugger all about Selena Gomez, but I'm going on assumptions there.
No, but at least it wasn't a cookie cutter character as well. That's the other side of things. But yeah, Good Luck Charlie was my favorite. I used to really like Good Luck Charlie. Parks and Rec is good watch as well. Yeah, it's a bit. I do like it. It's a bit. It touches on the cringe too much for me, but not always. Community is amazing though. Absolutely amazing.
I don't think I've even heard of Community. I can't think that I've ever heard of it before. I'll have to look that up.
You'll have seen memes and things of it.
Oh, really?
It's about a community. Yeah. It's a community. It's a bit old now. It's a fair few years old. It's got Chevy Chase in it. It's got. Wow. He's not very popular in the rest of the cast. I don't think he leaves at one point because I think everyone hates him. It's got the guy who did.
I heard about that actually.
He's got the guy who did what's his name? Donald Glover. So he's both an actor and a rapper. Yeah. He was the one who did
plays Lando.
This is America. Yeah. That's him. Yeah.
He's a stand-up comedian as well.
He's an incredibly talented man.
Yes.
And very, very funny in this. And it's got a woman who's incredibly attractive called, I don't know what her actual name is, but she's called Annie in the. It took me a while to work out because she doesn't play a character. Anyway, she's a very attractive lady.
Did you watch Lock and Key?
No. No. Is it good? I've heard mixed things.
I very much enjoyed it. Yeah.
I think people who like the comics didn't like it quite as much, but
no, I heard they changed a lot of stuff I know one person who liked the comics and said, "Oh no, I thought it was really good," and was perfectly accepting of the sort of alterations they made. But I know somebody else who was exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I haven't read the comics or seen it, so
I bought the comics for a friend of mine. I bought him like the first trade paperback for Christmas.
Is it Alison Brie? There's two, isn't there? There's two that are attractive. What? Right, I'm gonna have to Google her now.
There's a woman in Lock and Key who is mesmerisingly attractive.
No, I don't think it's Alison Brie. I'm thinking of. Oh, it is. She just changed the colour of her hair in this photo. Yeah, Alison Brie.
That name rings a bell, but I can't put a face to it.
She's very attractive.
I get that.
Mm. Not the blonde, the blonde. Yeah.
Oh my god, I've got a lot of bloody cannons to do.
Glow, that's another one I wouldn't mind watching because that's got
the female wrestling, yeah.
Because that's got thingy in it, hasn't it?
Marin?
No, the board game. What's his name? Rich Schumacher.
Oh yes, he is in Glow. Yeah.
I
keep meaning to watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as well, but I haven't watched that yet on Amazon.
I'll tell you what is good. Elementary. Have you watched Elementary?
No. It's
That's
the one.
Everything.
It's the guy from Trainspotting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he plays like a
Sherlock
modern day
Holmes.
Sherlock. Is he actually Sherlock?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Lucy Liu is Watson.
He's Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always heard it's very good. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's much better than. Are
you going to say BBC Sherlock?
Yeah.
Wow. I really like that.
Well, it's different. It's more traditionally. It's not as up its own ass. Now it's whether you like the up its own assness of Sherlock or not. But it's there's a lot more of it as well because it's got like however many seasons and there's like 24 episodes in a season type thing. But I would argue Johnny Lee Miller is a much better Sherlock than Benedict Cumberbatch.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but that's just personal taste. I mean, I wouldn't argue that Lucy Liu's a better Watson than
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman, but she's her own Watson, as in, it's interesting.
Was she a better Bilbo Baggins than Martin Freeman?
I do like Martin Freeman.
Have you watched any of his new show on? It's not Boom. It's about like people having kids. Oh, what the hell is it called?
Oh, don't tell me that, Cthulhu.
I can't remember what it is, but it's on Sky, so I get it on via Now TV. But Martin Freeman's got a new show on there, and it's very funny, very very funny.
No, I haven't seen it.
Bastard.
Castle. I haven't watched Castle.
No, a friend of mine always tells me to watch Castle. Yeah,
I need to watch Castle. That's the kind of TV program I really like. Is the cozy mysteries. I love.
It's like an American Midsummer Murders, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, it's a whole genre. I mean, we did it. Well, I don't know. We did it first, but like Agatha Christie is the same.
Morse,
but yeah,
that sort of stuff.
Yeah, although Morse was always never funny enough for my tastes. I like them to be a bit of humour, like Jonathan Creek.
Yeah, I used to like Jonathan Creek. I'm not a big crime person, but there's a few when I like one, I really like it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like. I
didn't like Morse, but
no, I never really watched Morse. The one that me and my wife are watching a lot. Well, we're watching a lot of Elementary, and we're also watching a lot of Death in Paradise. I love Death in Paradise. Just that gentle humour.
Yeah.
Generally, if a comedian plays the detective, I mean, that's a dramedy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't like gritty stuff. I'm not into like Luther and stuff where it's awful.
I tried to watch Luther because everybody said about how great it was, and didn't do it for me.
It probably is really great. It's not the frame of mind I'm in. I want escapism. I like my murderers being nice.
You like a witty murderer.
Oh right, okay. The film version of Mrs. Fisher's Murder Mysteries has been made. I think I've actually backed that on Kickstarter. I seem to remember. If I didn't do that, I nearly did. Yeah. A good show about a guy who busted people that pretended to be psychics and such, but they only did a couple of episodes. I'm not sure. I know that one. Psyche is great.
Do you like Vera? My wife likes Vera.
I've not seen Vera. I don't think. I'm not very good at being up to date on TV because I watch so little of it. It just kind of if it's. Oh, Jeremy Beck was amazing as a Sherlock. I tell you who else was good as a Sherlock as well is the person who I can't remember who played it in the BBC Radio 4 adaptations. It was amazing. And in fact, I love all versions of Sherlock.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a bad version of Sherlock. I'm trying to think of anybody that I thought, oh no. I mean, even Robert Downey Jr., I really like his Sherlock.
Yeah. Well, it's such a good character. Considering it's the first ever, Mentalist, that was good. There was also Numbers, which is where people solve crimes by doing maths. I love all that stuff. I love it all.
I liked Whitechapel. That was a good show.
I haven't seen that. That might be dark.
It had a little bit of It was a gritty year, but it had a really interesting thing that there was a guy, the balder, chubbier one from League of Gentlemen.
Yeah.
He was like an archivist for the police station or whatever, and he basically lived down in the sort of basement of this big police station in Whitechapel, and when a murder happened, he would go into the archives and go back to like times from like Jack the Ripper and pull out information and stuff from all these different things, and it would help solve the crime kind of thing.
Right, okay.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that. And I was only discussing that with my wife the other day because it was one that we actually did enjoy together. We sort of just suddenly lost our way with it though. Finished a series and then we kind of forgot to pick up the next series. But that was very good.
That happens, doesn't it? Holmes and Watson.
I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's so terrible. Even if you're a Will Ferrell fan, one of my guys I used to work with is like an absolute die-hard Will Ferrell fan, and he said it was atrocious.
I haven't seen it. I thought it was the second Sherlock Holmes, the second Robert Downey Jr. one. And I thought it was all right. It was just a bit of escapist fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with Sherlock Holmes is, you can't blame it for being pulp because that's what it is. It's pulp. It was always intended to be pulp with Sherlock Holmes. So the ones I don't like are ones where he's not in it much, and that's mainly talking about kind of the books and things.
Right.
I think Conan Doyle got bored of writing about Sherlock after a while. Well, he tried to kill him off, didn't he? Until he needed the money to bring him back again. So a bit like Agatha Christie and Poirot. Agatha Christie hated Poirot.
Really?
Yeah, she absolutely hated him.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, well, I think you write people for so long, and then you just
disdain for them. Yeah, I suppose.
I'm bored of this, but they can't.
But I've got bills
get away
to pay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. So I think she liked Marple, but Miss Marple wasn't in. She didn't do that many Marple books. She did a lot more Poirot books and stories and things. I love Poirot as well. But what was I going to say?
Did you watch the Kenneth Branagh or
no?
Express?
I haven't seen that yet.
It was quite good.
I know that story so well. I don't really want to go over it again. Do you know what I mean?
Kenneth Branagh was a sort of interesting Poirot. It was a bit different, It was
sure he was. But half the fun of that is not knowing who did it, isn't it? Or guessing who did
This
it.
is true. Yes.
And I know who did it on the Murder of the Orient Express. I don't want to spoil everybody, but it was everybody who did it. they all bloody did it. But someone told me the formula of guessing the Agatha Christie murderer, and it's completely correct, and it's spoiled a lot. Yeah,
Is it really? Is it foolproof?
It's almost completely foolproof. Yeah. Do you want to know it?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah.
It's who is the absolute least likely to do it.
Oh, and it's always that person. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of that kind of stuff while I'm walking. I've got a lot of the audio books of the BBC BBC stuff for Poirot and.
John Malkovich played Poirot. Huh.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
Oh, I've never seen that.
Really? That doesn't surprise me. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wasn't Sir because of Holmes, but because he wrote an excellent article defending the use of the concentration camps by the British in South Africa.
Well,
we did some pretty shitty things.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I haven't seen the John Malkovich one. I do know about the ABC murders one. I've listened to that recently on audiobook. Go on then. How do you spot the bad guy in films? This is going to spoil everything for me, isn't it? I'm usually very good at spotting who's done it.
I can't even see what
stuff. Cthulhu.
Oh, is Whitechapel on Netflix? Excellent. I might have to get back to that.
Apple will not allow the bad guy to use an Apple iPhone. So anyone in a film who uses an iPhone is good, and anyone who doesn't could be evil. Interesting.
That's funny. I can believe that as well.
Yeah.
What do I need now?
Columbo did it well, didn't it? It didn't matter that you knew who did it because you knew who did it from the start, and it's all about the process of how he finds it out.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
That was a novel way of.
Columbo used to be I'm off sick from school TV.
Yeah, that Diagnosis Murder.
Yeah, and what was the game show?
Going for gold.
Thank you. Yes.
Going for gold. The heat is on. The time is right.
Well,
Richard Herring does a very interesting routine. I think it is a routine, or it could just be. I've heard him talk about how he masturbates to going to gold when he was a child, when he was a youth, because that's all there was.
That's all there was. Poor starved Richard Herring.
Poor starved Richard Herring. Going for gold.
What's your favourite game show ever?
Ever. Not really a game show person.
No, I wouldn't say I am, but I've definitely got some ones I'd probably consider up there in my favourites.
Don't know.
I always loved Family Fortunes. Or Family Feud, as it is in America.
No, not a big. I follow Les Dennis on Twitter.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still going.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't thinking of Les Dennis. I was thinking of I can't remember his name now. Yeah, sorry, I know Les. Yeah, Family Fortunes, Les Dennis. Yeah.
Russ Abbott, are you thinking of?
No, not Russ Abbott. But that's a blast from the past.
He was in Last of Summer Wine. That's the last thing I saw him in.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's where old comedians go when they get to a certain age. Don't know what they could do these days, but that's certainly where they used to go. Russ Abbott.
What was his show called? Abbott.
Russ Abbott's Madhouse. He was massive, wasn't he?
Once, he was when I was a kid, he was huge. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he was quite funny. I thought
I think it was a great sketch show. He was a classic sort of variety act. Sketch act. Good, wholesome, from what I remember at least.
Yeah, Les Dennis was in that.
Yes, he was. You're right. He was a lot of parts in that. Isn't that where he used to do his
Mavis.
impression of
Yeah. Keith Chegwin died. Yeah. Is that who you're thinking of?
No, it's not. Who I'm thinking of. No, I was thinking of like someone way older than that. Who used to do Squares? No. Check.
No idea.
Tarbuck?
Guys,
Jimmy Tarbuck. That's the one.
Jimmy Tarbuck.
Yeah.
Is he dead? I'm not sure
He
he's dead.
must be dead now, isn't he? That's what. When you said Les Dennis, for some reason, Jimmy Tarbuck came into my head.
He was never particularly funny, was he? I tell you what, his daughter's funny.
Lisa Tarbuck.
I do like Lisa Tarbuck. I think she's great.
Quite underrated actress as well, I think.
Yes, I think you're probably right. I think
things I've seen her in.
She's very earthy.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming isn't an act, although she must have had quite a privileged childhood, I'm guessing.
And I imagine her dad knew a lot of people.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I would say she's a talented woman. I don't begrudge her success.
No, I would say her connections allowed her talent to shine. That's probably
exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I hate eyes.
Don't do eyes.
It's hard. You've got to do them with monsters. Big monsters.
Oh, I don't mind monster size because you don't need to do eyeballs if you don't need.
I'm not doing eyeballs.
No, you don't even like doing any of it at the eye.
Tarbuck's one of the few from the 70s and found not guilty. Him and Cliff Richard. Was he actually accused?
Oh, did he get U-treed, did he?
The heat is on. Time is right. Going for gold.
I like catchphrase as well. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I didn't like any of them really. I never really was a quiz show guy. My friend Rob, who I went to university with, he's been on all the game shows. He loves the game show, does Rob?
I must have been out of modern ones. Actually, one of the ones I like most is Pointless.
Yeah, Pointless is probably the better one.
But it's because it's such a good combination of hosts.
Well, Richard Osman kind of came from nowhere, didn't he? I mean, I think he's been around for a long time.
I've met him a couple of times. Yeah, he used to come to the bowling alley. He's massive. You look on my Facebook, there's a picture of him, and I'm not a small lad, but he just dwarfed me. And I shook his hand, and it just like enveloped my hand. You know, it was very nice, very pleasant.
Oh, I haven't met him. Yeah, this is full of flash. Never mind. Fuck it. Going for gold. Henry Kelly.
That's it. Henry Kelly. Well done.
Yeah, I don't watch any TV now, but I used to watch a lot of TV back in the day. I'll tell you what is good. That's come out at the moment. Your son might like it. He might be old enough for it. How old's your son?
6.
Yeah, he probably will.
With a mature head on him as well.
Yeah, he's Crackerjack. Crackerjack.
Oh, yeah.
That's back. It's got the two people who didn't win Pop Stars or whatever. Right. Do you know what I mean? Knock off Ant and Dec.
Oh, yeah. I can't think what the names are, but yes, I know who you
They're
mean.
quite personable.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Osman's been a producer for ages, and I think he just...
Oh, has he?
Yeah. He just came on... He just... They needed somebody, and he kind of stepped in type thing, and then became a personality. I don't think he ever... I don't think his career plan was to become a personality. I think he just did. Mind you, he's very funny. Anyway, Crackerjack, yeah. It's good. I recommend it.
Was it BBC or?
Yeah, BBC. It's on BBC iPlayer. There's only about 10 episodes of it, but it's a quiz show. But it's got loads of slime in. Proper old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It's got sketches in. The first episode they had all the old Crackerjack presenters on it, which was funny because they actually had like, I could crush a grape and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, well worth a watch. Cracker Jack.
My son is a massive Horrible Histories fan, which I approve of.
Yeah, it's good. No, I need a. Problem with yellow is I need a nice dull.
What's that?
I've got this woman's. I've got this woman's chest, not chest, underbelly. I don't know what you call it.
Right,
Snakes.
Yeah, snake's
thing.
underbelly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know what colour to do it.
Quite a pale, like almost like a flesh tone, almost.
I've done a pale green, so I'm just wondering whether to use that same pale green on. Can you see? I don't know if you can see.
No,
that.
It can't.
It's because never mind. Whatever. I'll just do the same as a body, but I don't think that's right.
No, I'd do an almost like human flesh tone kind of colour, like real pale.
Yeah, but that's the same colour as her body, not the coils.
Oh, that's true. Yes, sorry. Yeah, she's half. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do a Xandri dust type
more
colour.
like a cream kind of almost. Yeah.
Yeah, could do cream.
Or like a really light sandy brown, but then like maybe highlight it or just dry brush it a bit to cream to the edge sort of thing.
Yeah, could do. I'm going to stick this on and see what it looks like. I don't like dry brushing generally. It's not my dry brushing isn't a technique I enjoy.
In what way? Like you don't like the finished result, or you don't?
I don't think I'm very good at it.
Oh, okay.
I tend to get it all over the place.
I wouldn't have done a lot of painting if it went with a bloody dry brushing over the years.
I think it's fine. I just don't think I'm good at it. I just don't think I think I'm too heavy-handed. And then when I'm trying to be too soft-handed, I'm like, well, it's not doing anything.
It is quite a hard balance to get. Yeah.
Dick and Dom. The Unbelievable Truth is good radio quiz shows. That's not really a quiz show, it's a panel show though, isn't it? I love Count Arthur Strong on the radio. That's not a quiz show either. I saw Count Arthur Strong live the other year.
Yeah.
It was alright for the first half and then I got bored of it by the second. But it's one of those things, it's a one joke thing. I think it works for half an hour and then if you sit through it for the second hour, it's like, well, this is getting a bit tired. Do you know Count Arthur Strong?
No, I don't. Name doesn't even ring a bell. I can't.
It's a pretend old star from the 70s type thing, or even earlier, 60s, who's washed up, and he's also probably got dementia, and he's very egotistical, and he's one of these ones, and I can't think of, but constantly getting words wrong,
right?
You know, and I can't think of a decent. Paw Patrol. Yanni's going to bed because he needs to get up early for Paw Patrol. All right, Yanni. I'm glad those days are over.
I'm glad my son never liked Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol, whenever you're in trouble. Paw Patrol. What did you like then?
What ones did Elliot get into pretty quick?
I find they tend to get into programs that are aimed at kids older than them.
Yeah, and they definitely did.
And by the time they're old enough to appreciate them, they've now decided those programs are for babies.
They want to move on again. Yeah,
and they want to move on to something that's probably a bit too old for them. And I think that's been the same with all of my kids. So I think it's just the way kids.
That's definitely the way with Elliot. Yeah, there's not many of the kids shows he really. He likes quite bizarre ones that I don't expect him to like. Like he really likes Swashbuckle, which is a bit like Funhouse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen it. He'll love. I tell you, you need to get him on. Oh, you've lost me now, Cthulhu. Tony Hancock, I bloody love.
Yeah.
I don't think he's. John Shuttleworth-esque. He's very John Shuttleworth-esque. To fully agree with the statement, Dan, you mentioned the podcast earlier, and I said aloud and you're right. What statement? Anyway, whatever. I've got about kids shows. Oh, right, yeah. Tony Hancock's fantastic. Wash your mouth out. Good grief! I'll give you a good punch up the bracket for that Cthulhu. I do like my Tony Hancock. Right. What am I going to do now? I've got all these things on the go. I don't know what to do next.
Bloody hell, I'm making good progress here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'd been meaning to sit down and do this since I'd done my first, because I did one as a test one, like, right, okay, that works kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see just how much of a pain in the arse doing the rigging was. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It's not too bad. But, yeah, good old contrast paints are saving the day. Yeah.
They are amazing. Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol. I don't mind Paw Patrol.
Celebrity
I think
Squares,
it's all right.
that's the one I was trying to think of, yeah.
Oh, bit of Les Dawson.
Les Dawson, that's who I was trying to think of. Not Tarbuck. Les Dawson is who I was trying to think of.
Les Dawson's that's another comic genius. Les Dawson. Blankety blank. And Terry Wogan was funny when he wanted to be.
Yeah, he was very much so, in a very dry, unexpected way. That was what I liked about Terry Wogan, because he seemed so straight down the middle, Terry Wogan, that when he veered off a little bit, it was very pleasant. You know what I mean?
I think
when he got a little bit naughty for Terry Wogan.
I think he really came into his own when he started doing his Radio 2 show.
Absolutely.
I think that's when it hit. Before that, I just kind of thought of him as a washed-up talk show host, but once he started doing all that and doing dry brushing now, wish me luck. It's all gone wrong already. I think half the problem is I don't get the right consistency of paint as well. It needs to be.
Meter.
That's Yanni.
Oh, it's Yanni, is it?
Yeah. He likes to confuse everyone by having two names for some reason. Not that you should have known that, but I'm just saying. Tell you what, I can get drunk and rowdy. Yeah, although he got a bit old, I thought. He got too nasty about it, the Eurovision. Terry Wogan on Eurovision. I thought he was a bit of a dick, to be honest, at times.
Yeah, Cthulhu, Morecambe Wise, two Ronnies. You know.
Yeah.
Loved the two Ronnies. I
got the complete Morecambe Wise box set the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, the BBC years, I think, and I think it's got some other stuff. It's not completely complete, but it's very good. They had such a good dynamic between them. I mean, that was a partnership where they were both funny.
Yeah.
The straight man actually had a lot of comedic lines as well, and it really worked. I mean, the Morecambe Wise are amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
You just wonder what.
To be fair, well before my time, but even then, I still. You know, there was a lot of stuff that was before my time, like Two Ronnies and stuff like that. But obviously, my mum and dad loved it and watched it so much that it rubbed off. You know,
and Last Summer Wine, that was good as well.
See, you say that, you know, but I did like Last of the Summer Wine when I was.
Oh, but yeah, I think Last of the Summer Wine's amazing. I'm joking.
It got long in the tooth. That's undeniable, but. But it was a great show once. Certainly the Compo years, and
yeah. See, I don't know why you're saying Cthulhu. You're saying you like Steptoe & Son, and I get that it's a different show to Hancock.
I didn't like Steptoe & Son.
Oh, it's really point. You should try. How long ago have you tried it? I'm not saying
many years ago. Like when I was young and watched Two Ronnies and Good Life and stuff like that. You know,
I think you probably enjoy it now because I think the poignancy of it and the
oh really.
Yeah, would probably hit home a lot.
Give it a try, then.
Two people trapped together who hated each other but completely codependent on each other. I think the subtleties of their that character, that relationship is something that I don't think I could. You can, because I used to feel the same, and then listen to one, and you just get the subtleties. It's a very sophisticated. I think if you're too young, you don't get it.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll try it again then.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go out your way. I mean, there's lots of stuff as well, but I wouldn't write it off as no, I don't like it. I think you might not have been old enough for it. It's like the Goons now. I used to love the Goons, and then I listen to it now. It's like, this is shit.
I tell you what, I loved, and I struggle to enjoy it as much. But the Young Ones and Bottom,
yeah,
I don't like that nearly as much as I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, I still respect it immensely because it was just brilliant, in its ridiculousness,
Yeah, I think the Bottom certainly stands up for me. I rewatched that recently.
I would say that what I remember loving most about Bottom when I was younger actually was the live ones. The stage shows. God, they were funny. When it would go tits up and they'd leave it in and carry on and stuff,
Although I
so
imagine some
funny.
of that tits upness,
half as planned as it was. Yeah.
Well, I think probably not the first time it happened. It wasn't planned, but if they got a laugh from the tits upness, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure it went tits up in that particular way quite a few times in the future.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's probably true enough. Yeah.
But I think that's fair enough. I mean, that's reasonable.
If anything, if you can make that work, then, then that's impressive in its own right.
Honing the show as much as anything. If something gets a laugh, keep it in.
You've seen the last Star Wars movie, yeah?
No, I haven't actually. No.
It's quite bizarre when Adrian Edmondson turns up in it.
Oh, does he?
Right at the beginning, yep. And is in it a pretty decent amount.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm sure it's the last one, not the one before.
Yeah, well, I don't remember him being in the one I've seen. No, there wasn't ever a choice not to go. I just could never be asked. And then, to be honest, the whole Star Wars machine and the Disney machine in general makes me, if I can't be asked going to see something, then I'm not going to go because I don't like the way it makes everybody. I didn't do it so much this time round, but everybody be their publicity machine for them and just constantly go on about it all the time.
Right.
And it just annoys me that people give. It's like shut up and sit down. People give them so much free publicity that it just winds me up. Really, all this Star Wars Day and stuff. Do you not see how badly you're being manipulated here by a corporate entity?
I'm a massive Star Wars fan, but I don't subscribe to any of that May the 4th bollocks.
Yeah, well, it just annoys me. I mean, and I like Rebels, and I didn't mind the most recent, but the most recent ones just felt a little bit soulless to me. Actually, that's not true. The first one, there were bits of that I really loved, and I loved the characters. I loved Rey, and I loved Finn. Wasn't massively keen on Poe. I couldn't quite see the point in him.
Oh, I see. I like Poe. I think he's a really good character.
Yeah, well, it's fine. I'm not, I'm not saying you can't, but then But the second one, I went, well, they didn't really do anything interesting with them characters. I don't know.
They do a better job, I thought, in the last one.
Yeah. Well, I've heard both sides from that. My wife says she enjoyed it and she didn't see what was wrong with it, and I've heard a lot of people say it was shit. So I don't know, but I think whatever it's happened, the specialness of Star Wars has been killed to some extent by the frequency of releases of new stuff, and I think it's now no longer quite as exciting to get something new Star Warsy than it was. I mean, I remember how excited I was to see Phantom Menace. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't remember reacting badly to it. I don't remember going up that.
I'm sorry, but I think people that's an almost like a Mandela effect. I think with Phantom Menace, because everybody fucking loved it when it came out. Because Darth Maul was a badass and it was amazing and all this, that, and the other. And then eventually it became fashionable to say, "Oh no, I bloody hate Phantom Menace. It was shit,"
Yeah, and there's definitely things wrong with it. I definitely remember not.
But I could argue that of all of them, and I love the movies.
Yeah.
But yes, and don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's certainly you know, it became one of those things of like somebody would mention Star Wars, and it would have nothing to do with necessarily Phantom Menace they were talking about, and somebody would always plump up and go, "Oh yeah, but bloody Phantom Menace." I was like, Shut up.
It's like it's the same as the thing I'm talking about with pandemic, and it's the same. It's people who have been told that something's funny and think I know how to be funny in this situation. It's to do this, and you know, whatevs. Oh, Dean's proposing to his girlfriend today.
Is proposing or has proposed?
Yeah, no, it is. It's distracting from me. How did you propose to your wife, Luke?
I'm not going to discuss that.
Oh, okay, interesting. Same as me then. Got drunk and did it accidentally.
Oh no, I did that several times before she actually said yes. She never said no, but she just wouldn't accept a drunken engagement.
Yeah. No, I think I said, "Oh, we're going to get married at some point, aren't we?" And she went, "Yes, probably." And then I think I formally asked her a couple of days afterwards, but yeah, I was never. Well, actually, that's not true. I can be romantic if I want to.
I hope it's not a case of you need luck, Dean, but all the best.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't be. Don't. Yeah, well, whatever, because you might be planning on doing it, so I won't criticise him before.
There's no bad Star Treks. Come on, Mark. You don't even believe that yourself, do you?
That's why. Have you seen Star Trek the motion picture, Mark? Because that is not only one of the worst films of all time, for reasons I will go into in a minute, but it's also one of the longest films of all time. It takes 40 minutes showing the Enterprise leaving a bloody docking station. It is tedious.
And I would say Star Trek Nemesis was pretty bloody crap. And
which one was that one?
That was the last of the Picard movies, I think. And what was the one before it?
Generations wasn't great.
No, Generation. No, I didn't mind Generations. First Contact was bloody good.
Yeah.
The one after First Contact with those weird people, the people that would stretch the new faces over their own face. It was like Insurrection or something like that. That was bloody crap.
Was that the one that just felt like a big long episode?
It just felt like a big long, quite average episode.
I didn't mind it. I quite like the new ones.
He literally did retract his message.
Yeah.
I presume he wrote it.
I like the one that no one else likes. Yeah, I like all the Chris Pine ones.
Yeah, I do. I did so much like the third one, more just because I got to the point where I was like, okay, these are literally all the same movie here now.
Yeah.
I mean, how on earth the Enterprise is a revered ship when it gets so utterly kicked in the arse every film? You know, it gets absolutely obliterated in every movie. You know, it's like, why is this a revered ship? It's clearly crap. But yeah, I did really like him, and I thought I'm quite a bit of a Benedict Cumberbatch fanboy, so I enjoyed him as Khan.
Khan. Yeah, I thought it was all right.
I like Pine as Kirk.
Was that the third one? I thought it was the second one.
No, second one was Darkness one, Into the Darkness, or whatever it was. Third one was Luther, Idris Elba.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like bits of it. I need to be fair, I've only watched it once. I would like to watch it again. And I just felt it was just like it was the same movie again. It was just a bit hits all the same beats kind of thing, you know.
Possibly. It reminded me of Crocodile Dundee 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Have I missed something there?
Have you seen Crocodile Dundee 2?
Yeah, I haven't seen it for a good while, but I definitely
as far as I'm aware, that's
the one where he dresses like the man from Del Monte and gets shot, doesn't he?
Okay, I remember that bit. I just remember him setting loads of booby traps.
Oh yeah.
In Australia.
And doesn't he do the talking across the valleys with the spinning? He spins the disc on the end of the string, and it's like he's talking across the valleys. Yeah. Actually, I remember a lot more of Crocodile Dundee 2 than I would have credited myself for it.
More than me.
To be fair, I loved those movies when I was young.
I think they're all right. They're good. I prefer the bits when he's in Australia than the bits when he's in New York.
Yeah, I agree. Although That's Not a Knife is one of the most classic scenes.
Yeah.
In I want to say late 80s movies.
That was the first film I ever saw on VHS.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got a clue what the first movie I ever saw on VHS.
One of my father's friends got a video machine, so we went round and he rented Crocodile Dundee, and we all watched it. It was very exciting.
I still remember when I'm trying to think how old I would have been. Let me have a look. How long did it used to take a movie to come out from rental from cinemas back in the day?
Oh, I think about 2 years, I reckon.
So a good while, right? So, well, RoboCop
maybe a year.
RoboCop came in at 87, and I remember we went down to our local Four Boys newsagents, which was also the video rental place, and there was a big poster. Do you remember the poster of RoboCop stepping out of the car? Real classic image of RoboCop.
Yes, I do. I never really was a.
Well, I would have. So if it got released in the movies in 87, so I was 5 then. So let's say it came out 2 years later on VHS rental. Mum, we saw that picture and Mum was just like, yeah, okay, that looks fine, yeah. And 7 years old and my brother was 9. And I remember this guy's face melting off, Yeah, she still lets us watch it.
quite bleak, wasn't it?
Oh,
RoboCop.
Yeah. I love that movie so much. So.
Never really been a RoboCop fan. Not more due to lack of watching it than anything else. And so I've got no nostalgia for me.
Yeah, I definitely do.
But yeah.
But that was one. It was a one and done movie. The second and the third one were utter pish. I didn't hate the remake. It was okay. It was a perfectly all right sci-fi movie.
What's going on with this?
The guy from Altered Carbon played RoboCop. Oh, it seems like so long since I've seen you.
Oh, triggers, boom. Triggers, boom. RoboCop. I'm not. No. It's all right. It's all right. I watched Thingy the other day with my son. That Tom Cruise movie. That's Groundhog Day.
Oh, Edge of Darkness. No.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah.
God, that's a good film,
that's
isn't it?
That's a bloody amazing film. Absolutely amazing.
I've seen it before. I saw it before. And I didn't know anything about it, which was a perfect way to go into it.
Definitely, yeah. To not have a clue what the concept of it was.
Yeah,
you lucky bastard. Yeah,
it was superb. One of his best films, I'd argue. I mean, he was all right in it. He was nothing special.
Yeah, I don't.
Nothing special, nothing bad. He didn't detract from it. It didn't add to it. I don't think.
I don't really ever care about Tom Cruise, but I do tend to like his movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Minority Report, I think, is a fabulous sci-fi movie. I mean, he's always in bloody good movies. Yes. I've lost my way with Mission Impossible, to be fair. I think the last one I watched was 3. And I dread to think how many there's been now.
I can't remember. They all meld into one.
They've all got names now. They're not even on numbers anymore. Like Ghost Protocol and this, that, or whatever. But, I mean, I enjoyed them for the most part, but yeah, I do tend to enjoy a Tom Cruise movie.
Yes, he tends to choose his films wisely, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's essentially inoffensive. It's not
exactly.
He's and in fact, some of his movies back in the day, like Days of Thunder, I absolutely loved those movies.
Yeah. Has he done more than one Reacher film? I really like the Reacher books.
I think he has done a second Reacher film, yeah. I've only seen the first one, but I'm sure there is another one.
Yeah. I like those books.
Yeah, I liked I've never read any of them. I sort of knew it was a character, but didn't realise it was nearly as popular a character as it was till the movie was coming out. I enjoyed that movie. Tell you a movie Always liked him. The one with Jamie Foxx, Collateral. That was actually, he was very good in that movie as a bad guy.
Don't know. Yeah. Right. Gosh, what am I doing now? I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start basing. I can't be asked basing because it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, I don't think I'll agree with you on Vanilla Sky, Mark, but Minority Report.
I am. Yeah. No. Yes. An amusing exchange between Mark and
yes. Yeah, I'm just reading that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stuff in my house that after this is all over, I'm going to bin. Because
Such as?
Well, I don't know, just like stuff that... Well, I don't know what it is yet, but if I can't get round to it, if these things that I'm going to get round to watching or doing or playing, perhaps not playing, but watching or doing, when I've got the time, and if I can't get round to it when I'm stuck in the house for 3 months, then it's fucking going. Because it's never going to get around to it, is it?
No, that's fair enough, yeah.
Reading on books. I'm reading a lot of Marvel Unlimited comics at the moment.
I've tried twice to get into reading comics on that. I did it, I did it once before, and then when you started up the book club with Lee, and it just didn't do it for me, and I don't know why. I think I just didn't find one that really grabbed me.
Yeah. Were you reading on a desktop?
No, on iPad.
Oh yeah. Well then, yeah, it's obviously not for you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I like a trade paperback, but the iPad thing just doesn't quite do it for me.
I genuinely, it's a bit like that tabletop simulator.
Yeah.
After a while, it doesn't feel that much different to me.
Yeah, and I wish that was the case for me, but.
I'm more than happy to. It's like a Kindle. I'm not one of these people who needs a book.
Oh no! See, I like a Kindle, which doesn't make any bloody sense,
Well, it is different because Kindle. It could be something to do with the way the light's coming at you. Because
it's very pleasing on the eyes. The Kindle.
Yeah, I need to get back into reading books. I haven't read a book for ages.
See, I mean, I never have been a big reader. I read on holiday, and that's it.
Yeah,
I did. Or to be fair, no, I did used to read a lot when I was younger, but for a long time it's been a holiday thing for me and nothing more.
I don't read anything weighty, but I do enjoy when I do read. I do enjoy getting into a book. I went through a stage of reading loads, but then it just I don't know. It depends what time you go to bed, isn't it? That's ultimately what it is.
Well, that's the trouble is if I go to bed and if I try and read in bed, that just puts me straight to sleep. I have to.
Well, if you're having to make special time for reading, then it's I wouldn't be able to read at all if it wasn't in bed. No, I'm not impressed with that at all.
My old housemate Kenny used to amaze me when we all lived together. We'd always be sitting there watching whatever stupid shit on TV and laughing riotously, and he'd be there happily reading on the sofa of a historical novel of some massive weight. And I'd be like, how are you even doing that?
Yeah, how could you concentrate when there's stuff going on?
Just never. He'd always been able to do it. And no way I could when we're all sort of watching some comedy that we all love and laughing out riotously sort of thing.
Yeah, you were obviously very annoying people.
So was he in many ways. Yeah. We were four young men that lived together. Of course we were bloody annoying, I
must admit, I do miss the days of well, I don't miss it to a point where I'd want to go back to them, but I did enjoy living with three of my mates after uni.
Oh yeah, we loved it.
Yeah. Not that we were particularly hard drinking or anything, but just being in a house with your friends, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that was my drinking days back then, but But, yeah, I mean, just all like-minded in many ways, and then different for our own other things. You know, it's just a perfect storm sort of thing.
Some of my happiest days are those days when I was unemployed and living with my mates, doing fuck all. Didn't last that long, to be fair. Now I think of it, but I felt like it lasted a while.
I'm trying to think. We lived together, I think, about 4, maybe 5 years in that same house. Did I just lose
I lived
you for a
with
second?
possibly. I lived with Mushy and Dave from Gearstones.
Oh yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
don't know if you-
No, I know who you mean. Yeah,
They well didn't keep themselves to themselves, but they also weren't in the middle of
yeah.
everything.
I don't think I ever really had a conversation with them, from what I can remember. But I know who you
they
mean.
were playing. They were playing with themselves. But yeah.
Giggity.
Mm-hmm. And Craig, who you don't know, but he was a good lad. He now lives in Abu Dhabi.
Oh well.
Yeah, with his wife. And he had a going away party when they moved to Abu Dhabi. And what was it called, Luke?
Go on.
It was an Abu Dhabi do.
Damn it! I knew it was good. I knew I was going to kick myself as soon as I heard.
Yeah, it was inspired. Inspired, I felt. Right. I might need to call it a day soon because I'm knackered.
Yeah, no, I'm getting to the end of where I can be bothered at the moment.
Let's have a look at the chat. Let's see here. Charity shop's going to be overwhelmed. They'll be hit with a double whammy with normal stuff people wouldn't take. Built up plus Uber spring cleans people have done. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, bloody hell.
What?
I've forgotten all the cannons on this side of this bastard ship. Oh, my paint's not dried up just yet.
Yeah, charities are losing a lot of money, aren't they?
Horrific amounts of money, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I certainly haven't. I was thinking I really should. We're not spending as much money by not going out, not buying. I should put that into a charity. I thought about maybe the food bank might be the best one at this point in time, but I suppose all of them are struggling. I mean, the Red Cross are going to be struggling. You know, there's going to be all sorts of
all of them. There's no
all of them.
Nobody's.
No, I know, but it's about what can do the most good. You know, I don't mind giving 50 quid. Hospices are really struggling as well because obviously they've got no government funding. All their charity shops are all closed down. They're still paying rent on their charity shops.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It's yeah. You're spending more on food. Well, we've this is something I hope that we can continue. We've become really, because we can't go out for the past 2 weeks. We haven't been able to go out and do any shopping. So we have had a neighbour who very incredibly kindly actually gave us their online shopping delivery slot, which was very generous because there was things like gold dust. Yeah. So we did get one shop within a 2-week period, but we became very, very conscious of what we're eating and any leftovers we're eating for lunch the day after and stuff like that. And I really hope we can continue that because it's been.
It brought out the best
really
in me
positive.
as a cook again. It brought back my chef days of nothing goes to waste. You know, I'd sit there and think, oh well, actually the aspects of that bit, and I could use this and that, and I could use the tops, and there's lots of things that I had in my sort of privileged Western world things, and not cooking to a restaurant's budget, as it were, sort of thing. It's brought all of that back to me.
I'm hoping I can keep on with that, and I'm not buying because I'm not sure whether I should be buying shit off the internet to be delivered. I haven't been doing, and I've not really been missing it. I have bought a few things, but no more petrol, no clothes. My big one of the things I spend far too much money on is food when I'm at work because I work 12-hour shifts. So I buy my dinner and then I buy my lunch, and I spend far too much money on both and snacks and shit like that. Lunch. Lunches will go up, but I'm not buying a £3 meal deal. I'm having 2 slices of bread and four slices of bread and some peanut butter, which doesn't come to £3.50. I'll tell you that much. So I'll do that as well. Fuck it. I don't know. So I'm finding myself spend a lot less money, and I'm just wondering which charities to give it to. Really. I also am conscious that we're going to come into some incredibly financially difficult times soon, and do I need to be saving? I'm certainly trying to get my debts out. So I don't know. But I'm also privileged in the fact I don't think I'm going to lose my job. But that's that. Right, are we going to... No? What's that about? Right, are we going to call it a night?
Yep. No, I'm good with that. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, I haven't been concentrating nearly as much on the chat because, well, to be fair, you're his fans, not mine.
The fans is bullshit, but yes. Yes, okay. We will catch you another time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, everybody.